Hi, how is everybody doing? Welcome to the chat room, having conversations that will indeed change the world. My name is Wana Kamalamba, and my co hosts Barry Ilunga and Lua Muzimara. Say hi, everybody. Yeah. Okay. Hi, Lua. Say something. Greet the people.
Hi, how are you doing, Wana and Barry? Good to be here. So excited for today's program, and Wana will be highlighting us on what we'll be talking about. And yeah, I'm here to learn. I'm here to speak my mind, but all in all, I'm gathered for a good interaction.
Lovely,
Amazing.
lovely. Barry, let's hear
Hi
from you.
everyone. Hi everyone. I am so glad you're here, and I'm so excited for tonight's episode. I think we've been building up to this for some weeks now, and we have quite, I should say, amazing number of young people who are going to come on the platform today and share their thoughts on our discussion. And I'm so excited you guys are here. Thank you for watching this, and thank you for supporting the chat room. Can't wait to get this kicked off.
Amazing, amazing. So tonight we're discussing relevance rather. How can young people be relevant? And I'm going to have a number of people who are going to be our guests tonight. Amazing young people doing amazing things in their own different ways, in their own different facets of life. Yeah, so basically, in my definition, being relevant is being useful, being impactful, right? How effective a particular person is to changing their world for the good. It might be their communities, it might be their families. How exactly can a young person be relevant? So, this is what we're going to be talking about. We've got a lot of young people, amazing young people being relevant who are going to show up right now. And just hold on as we go for a 1 second break or so, and it's going to be amazing. Looking forward to seeing you. Hi, everybody. We are discussing relevance. And our first guest for tonight, we have Micah Chipili Chishimba. Hi, Micah. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Excellent. Um, how would you define relevance? How would you define relevance in terms of the society today? How would you define relevance?
Well, how I would define relevance in terms of society today? Well, I would define it as the things that are important in the society that you can be able to something which is really amazing. Yes, something which is really important.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. How are youths being relevant in society today? Would you say the youths around and the youths you know are being relevant? What are some of the things you feel youths are doing that are making them relevant, or some of the things you feel youths can do to be relevant in today's society?
Well, I've seen a lot of from to stay away from sexual immorality. So that is one thing that I think that youths are doing that is relevant in society. And then the other thing that I think youths can do that can be of great relevance to society is simply develop skills, technical skills that would really help in different areas of life or in their community specifically that can really help, such as coming up with business ideas, being doing carpentry, being able to make furnitures, being able to make different things, and that will really help in that specific community if at all there's no such facility.
Amazing, amazing. That's absolutely brilliant, you see. So to be relevant, you just have to influence another person from doing something bad to being able to do something good. That is what I picked up from what you said. That's absolutely amazing. What are some of the areas in your life that you feel you are impacting society in terms of your community that you would like to impact way more people? What are some of the things according to you, that you would like to change in today's society as an individual and as a youth?
Again,
I'm saying in you being relevant to the society, what are some of the things you feel you would do to impact or to change society in order for you as an individual to be relevant?
What I would do?
Mm-hmm.
Well, with a group, specifically in this area where I live in, I've
Mm-hmm.
seen there is so much immature pregnancy. So I'd really love to come up with a group that would really help in spreading the news against premarital sex, so that the rate of premature rate of premature sex can stop. Yeah, I would really love to help the youths in this area very much.
Amazing,
In that.
amazing. That's very, very profound. That's very, very profound. Thank you so much, Micah. It's been good having you. Looking forward to the next time we have you here. All right. Um, Viewers, we are
Thank you very
continuing
much
with
for
our
according.
discussion. Amazing, amazing. Yeah, so viewers, we are continuing with our discussion. We'll be going for a short break before we go on our next important guest. Yeah, see you soon. Okay, we seem to be having some technical there's some technical thing. Okay, so as we are waiting um for what ought to be, um, Micah, how have you been having how have you been? Okay, Micah is gone. All right. Uh, okay, great. Welcome to the chat room.
Yeah, thanks, sir.
Amazing, amazing. Okay, we have Moses Mwansa with us. It's good to have you here, Moses Mwansa. And I would like to ask you in line with our theme tonight. What is relevance to you, and how would you describe a relevant youth?
Uh, Thanks for the opportunity. Excuse me for the voice. I had a show today, so my voice is gone. Yeah, to me, when you're seeing about relevance, like what youth can do in order to become relevant, relevance is simply mean to be useful. It simply mean to be applicable. That's what relevance is all about. When you are useful, when you are applicable, you are already relevant. That's what relevance is all about. It's about you are influencing something or you have a social impact, automatically you become relevant in the society. It's about how you are applicable or how important you are as a person or as a thing. That's what relevance is all about.
Amazing, amazing. That's absolutely a very profound definition right there. To be
Yeah,
useful, to be useful.
you have to be
How do you
useful.
think
Yes,
the youth today? How do you think the youth today can become more useful in society as a whole?
yes, it's possible. Uh, because you need to see what makes water to be useful, what makes this internet, this sunlight we have to be useful to us as human beings. When you begin to understand those terminologies, then you apply as a person to the society.
Mm.
Because we can't eat you, we can't buy you and eat you, we can't feed on you. You see? So as a youth, what you can do is you define yourself. What is that I am able to do? What can I offer to the society? You see? So you develop an idea. So when you develop an idea, through your ideas, then you begin to become relevant in society, because now people are not consuming you, people are buying your idea. For example, if your idea is like, for example, you are selling clothes, automatically people, you are useful because people can buy a cloth and you wear that cloth, it is important to them. So through your idea, through the good, the service you are offering, automatically you are attracting that relevance in the society. So as a youth, if you really want to be relevant in the society to make an impact, number one secret, you need to develop an idea. Because as we just find relevance earlier on, we said is when you are useful. Now you have to ask yourself a question as a youth: what can I do in order for me to reach this theme or to reach this meaning of relevance? You need to develop an idea. You need to understand a personal purpose, because only your purpose will deliver your relevance in the society. Because the society, they need you. You came here on earth with something, and that thing, when you give it to the world, when you serve it to your community, to your nation, automatically you attract that relevancy.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Moses Monza. This is so profound. I think I heard a lot of points. I heard you using ideas. I heard finding a problem you can solve. Indeed, there are a number of problems that society is going through, and using the ideas of a youth can be able to generate solutions and be useful, like you said earlier on.
Yes.
Thank you so much. You're so profound. So as
Yes.
before we move to the next speaker, Lua, what are some of
Yes.
your reflections on the two speakers we have had and what they've said about relevance?
Yeah,
I think
it's
awareness.
important.
Okay. Yeah, I was saying I think awareness and contributions what I'm getting from Moses and Chipili, being aware of the needs of the environment and becoming a solution by being proactive in executing an idea or a skill that is within you. So it's being true to your purpose in as much as there are needs in society. It's being aware of the need that you can meet, being aware of the solution that you can actually give to the community in order to meet a need. So I think it's having an awareness of your community and contributing for the greater good of that community.
Amazing.
That's
Indeed, these are conversations that will change the world. My world is already being changed here.
that's already.
Amazing. All right, sir. So Moses, thank you so much. Looking forward to the next time we have you.
Okay,
Um,
thanks.
all right. All right. Thank you, sir. Great.
Okay, thanks.
I'm being so changed and so impacted. You know, I feel like going outside and looking for problems that I can solve them. I am being so impacted. I am being so changed. I am being so transformed by the discussions we're having today. I mean, I felt like going outside and looking for problems that I can solve them. And we have Edwin Muyatwa. Hi, Edwin. How are you
Exactly.
doing?
I'm doing fine, man. I'm doing fine. How are you, Anna? How's everyone?
I'm doing
Barry, I mean.
Oh, good, Edwin. Nice to see you. It's good to have you.
Nice to see you guys. What's happening?
Nice to see you too, Edwin. Yeah. So, what is relevance to you? And I see you have a media background, and I know that you're into TV and you're into radio. How can a youth use their talent and the things that are around them to be able to be relevant to society? What would you say is the first step to being relevant to your society?
I think before I answer that question, I'll make it so controversial. I'll put myself in the shoes of the youths, which I am today. I think before I started anything, the most important thing that I had to figure out about myself is what can I do best without feeling stressed? What can I do with a minimal amount of effort that will make the society pay me? then I came to realize that the society pays you for your ideas. It doesn't pay you for problems. So when you commit a problem today, definitely the Zambia police will come and arrest you. So if you bring out a solution to people, people nowadays pay for a solution. So if you bring a solution to a community, the community shall pay you for that. I think the first thing, going back to your question, is you need to understand what works for you. Because if TV works for me, I don't expect Barry or Wana, yourself, or Lua to be a TV hosts or personalities. You have to find out what works for you so that you don't feel stressed. Because if TV works for me, it doesn't work for you, then you try to put yourself in my shoes. It will feel as a big job for you. It won't feel your passion. I like what the other speaker just mentioned earlier on, the quality or the understanding of your future, of your passion. Once you understand your passion, you can't lose weight. I feel so. You can't lose weight. Once you know where you're going, you can't lose weight. I think that's what has brought me up to here and having conversations with people like you. I think that those are the two things that I did. I understood myself, what can work for me, and how to see what problems are there in the society, and let me find a solution to that. So I think TV, me being outspoken, I think that's a solution to people because I'm able to communicate.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. I see even from the comment section, everybody is saying big ups and saying you're creative and whatnot. I love the point you brought out, introspection. I think introspection is really key because when you look inside of yourself, you will find the solutions that you're looking for. So amazing.
Exactly.
What would be your message to the Zambian youth out there? What would you say in the next 1 minute? What would you tell them to be able to, what is your message to them?
I think as youths, what we need to do, the first thing that we need to do as youths is just to, they say as youths, this is a time where you can destroy or create your future. So once you understand that concept, you swallow it, you swallow and add water on it, then you're good to go. So you need to understand that this is a time where you destroy or build your future. So once you understand the fact that this is a point where you need to build your future, you cut off certain things. So this is the time where you need to cut off things that are not benefiting you. You cut off the negativity, you embrace the positivity, and never forget to take risks, because we live in a world of risks. So if you want to keep yourself in a comfort zone, you will never go anywhere. So learn to explore, build network, have conversations that are going to make you grow, and just don't look who's doing who. This is not the right time. No, this is your life. It's like a train. You are there with the fellow passengers. Those guys are going to alight anytime. It's your road. It's you who knows you. So I think, my fellow youths, my message to you is just take risks, explore, learn new things every day. Never stop learning and never doubt yourself. Believe in yourself. That's a key. That's a way to go.
Absolutely amazing from Edwin there. Absolutely. Okay, thank you so much, Edwin, for your contributions. I believe you're already changing the world as we are having this amazing discussion, and the comment section is going crazy. Thank you so much, Edwin, for coming. Looking forward to having you once again.
I appreciate. You guys take care. Thank you for having me. I appreciate. Peace.
All right, Edwin.
All right, Edwin. All right, have a great. We are still having conversations that will change the world. Our next guest is Muiza Hannah Vumbrai. Hi, Muiza. How are you doing?
Hello. Good. How are you? Hi, Barry. Hi, Lua. How are you guys doing?
Hi.
Hey, Muiza.
Doing great. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Amazing. So I know that you have been doing quite a number of works in terms of charity, and you've been trying to be relevant, and you've been amassing great success in that particular field. Uh, what are some of the things, the first steps you took before you began to influence and to impact people in that particular field of charity? What are some of the first steps you took to cause you to be relevant?
Okay, I think this brings me back to, or it takes me back to first year, when I decided to start ABC, a better community with my friends. So what I had in mind was that I was thinking I would be impactful if only I had so much money, like to have to build a foundation, have an orphanage and all that. But then I came to understand that you can never have enough money and you can never have enough resources. You just have to work with what you have. So the first step that I took was to just understand that I can still do something with what I have. And at that particular time, I really told myself, like, I think what I have more than anything is okay, what's going on?
Okay,
I don't know
I
what's
think you have
going
your
on. Are you
camera
guys able to
trouble.
see me?
We can hear you. You can
Okay,
go ahead.
okay. All right. So yeah, what I came to understand is that what I had in abundance at that particular time and still have is love. So I thought, well, I think I can still make a bit of a change with love, just give out some love. And I don't know how it's going to work out. And I just talked to my friends, like, let's start out something. Let's start out something with what we have. And I told them, like, what we have right now is love. And I believe with love, you can share a lot. You can always find a way of coming up with resources and all that you need. And yeah, I think that's the first step I took to understand that whatever I have, I can still make an impact.
Amazing, amazing. Give a
Yep.
little of some love, and you change the world before you know it. That's amazing.
Yes.
That's amazing. Yeah. Bye. Do you have any
Yeah.
comment on what Muiza
Uh-huh.
has said, or question for Muiza at this point?
Um, so you talked about quite a number of amazing things that I think are brilliant. But what I'm going to ask you is,
Mm-hmm.
you seem to be well versed in terms of doing something. What word do you have for the general public, for the average Zambian youth who's trying to figure out how to be relevant? And when I speak of relevance here, I'm not just talking about doing things, but relevance has to do more with doing the right thing at the right time, in the right place when it matters the most. So, what word do you have for the general Zambian young person who's watching this right now and is trying to figure out how they can be relevant?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so if you asked me this about 2 years ago, I'd be like, just worry, I just start off, just start, and it will figure itself out. But I think I learned my lesson of just starting anyhow. So what I have to say is, don't just start anyhow. Make a plan for what you're going to start. Envision it, see how it all ends before you start it. I think it's we're in the age where people are bursting with ideas. Like we always have, this person has got a business idea, this person has got this invention that they want to come up with, they want to do this, they want to do that. And oftentimes we might make a mistake of just starting anyhow without a plan, without seeing how things are going to end or where you're actually heading to. You don't have the right team to work with and all that. So from what I've learned from my experience is start start, but when you start with a plan, start with a vision, and picture yourself where you want to be so that you don't lose yourself along the way. Yeah, I hope that answers the question.
Amazing,
Yeah,
amazing.
that was amazing.
Great.
Absolutely amazing. I think that's so profound. The
Mm-hmm.
average youth today wants to do something to influence, but they are not all about getting the necessary
Mm-hmm.
knowledge and the necessary information on what it would take for them to
Mm-hmm.
successfully
Mm-hmm.
impact. That is so amazing. Thank you so much, Muiza. Looking forward to the next time we come hear
Yeah.
more about the amazing things you're doing for the society.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
much
much.
for having me. Yeah. Thank you so
Great.
much for having me. It was a good time being here. All right.
Amazing, amazing. Change in the world. We have Perry Chitalu. Hi, Perry. How are you?
Hi. How's everyone? How are things outside?
Great. Good to have you, Perry.
No, everything is
Awesome.
absolutely amazing. It's
good to see you,
it's
Barry.
good to have you here.
Nice. The pleasure is all mine. I mean, you guys are doing a great
Great.
job. And thanks.
So my first question for you, Perry, is how important is it for an individual to be relevant in whatever field or area they're in?
Okay. I think first of all, I'll take you back to the fact that when God created us as a creator, when He was creating us, obviously Him being the creator,
Amazing.
He
Can you hear me?
specific functions that He had placed in us, and for that to happen, it means that being relevant is important because there are specific gifts and talents that I believe people have that they need to share to the society and the world at large.
That's amazing. That's amazing. If I may, based on what you just said, and also talking about Zambia's youth today, do you personally, do you generally feel Zambian young people are relevant today? From your personal
Definitely. Listen, they are. I think just the just ended elections, I think, has taught some politicians lessons. If I can put it that way. Everybody today is talking about how the youths turned up for this movement, and you agree with me. For any movement to occur, or any movement that has ever occurred, youths are involved. So I think currently youths are being relevant. We are seeing more youths getting involved into politics. We're seeing more youths getting out there as entrepreneurs. We're seeing more youths already on this platform doing such a great thing like you. So already, I think I would say we're not there yet, but the journey has started. Yeah.
Okay. Amazing.
Lovely.
And
Lovely. I love the fact that you have alluded to, and the fact that we are going somewhere. And since you said we are going somewhere, what do you believe is the next stage for that relevance, for us to get closer to the goal? What do you think is the next stage, especially for young people? What do you think is the next stage?
I think for the next stage, I think where we are, for relevance to occur, the issue has to be, have youths identified their gifts and talents? Have they identified who they are as an individual for them to meet the needs of the society? Because if I want to be relevant, it's because you've identified a need in the society, and you've seen your place using your gifts, your callings, your talents. You've seen how God has strategically placed you in that society to meet specific needs of the society. So I think the next stage is probably a more enhancement as regards to youths discovering their purpose,
Okay.
youths identifying the needs as well. Yeah.
Can I still be heard? I hope you can still hear me. There appears to be.
Okay. So I think one is having some technical challenges, but we are glad you came through, Perry. What you shared is amazing, and we're hoping to be seeing more of you even as we continue to interact on the chat room. Thank you for the time, and enjoy your night even as we move on to our next guest.
Thank you so much, brothers. Thank you so much, and definitely I'm plugged in as well in the discussions. Yeah, sure.
Grateful.
Thank you, Perry.
Hi, Shepard Baleni. How are you doing?
I'm all right, thank you. How are you?
I'm excellent. Hope I pronounced your last name well.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's Shepard Baleni.
Ah, nice, nice. I like that. Okay. Um, I would reflect on with you. I would reflect on the elections and how that the Zambian youth at large rose up to actually bring about. They voted in large numbers. What are some of the things that you believe Zambian youth can do on a national level to be relevant?
All right, thank you very much. Well, just as you said, it is very amazing if you look at how Zambians turn out to vote. And I was checking the statistics, and it was like more than half of the people who voted were below 35. That's amazing, you know. So I feel this has taught Zambians a lesson. It's actually shown that youth, just by voting, you can show that they are relevant to society, and these are national matters we're talking about. So by youth casting a vote is a very good thing, and I think youth can be used to participate in national affairs through them being given positions in government. You know, these youths can be used for service learning, where they use their skills, their knowledge to in the community to impress the people out there.
Lovely, lovely. That's amazing. That's amazing. The hustle is many youths are talented and they sit on their talents. They don't do anything about it. They are shy. They feel like, oh, it's for those guys who are out there who are making an influence. And I feel this is time for there to be a change. What areas in terms of the running, in terms of the nation, what are some of the areas that you as an individual feel you can cause a change and you can impact in? Yeah. What are some of the areas? Is it
All right. Okay. I'll
economical? Is
just
it
give an
sports? What are the areas?
Okay, I'll just give an example of myself. You know, I'm running a page called A Day in a Zambian University. All right. So what I do with this page, I interview students, I interview lecturers based on matters of concern to both people out there and both students. So, for example, I talk about issues for career. You know, uh, a career, you find that most students today go for careers which they don't choose. And these are issues as students, as people, as youths in general, we can bring out. Business wise, again, entrepreneurship. I think youth as well can also participate in this man. I don't know if I'm answering, I followed your question rightly, but you're asking to say, how can youth participate? I don't know. Can you kindly repeat your question?
You have answered it perfectly. You have answered it perfectly. I was asking you as an individual, what are some of the things you're doing to be relevant? And you've answered it perfectly. Thank you so much, Shepard.
All
Lua,
right,
we,
all
we
right.
haven't heard from you in a while. What do you think about what Shepard has said and what the recent people have been saying?
Yeah, I think from Shepard's point, he talked about participation. Same with our previous guest who talked about God having a purpose for us. But with all this, I think the link that ties us to participating and executing what it is that we have on the inside of us is the aspect of leadership and protege. In every chain reaction of relevance, there has to be somebody leading you. So I think in as much as we are youths, we still do need to look up to the older people who have done relevant things in society and see what we can learn from them. So the aspect of humility really ties into our participation. When we're getting to our universities, who are the people that have done the most? When we're getting to government sectors and whatever it is that we want to contribute to the government and to the nation at large, what are we learning from the people that have gone ahead of us? So just to link those points together, in as much as we are executing our purpose, in as much as we are participating in the greater good of our universities, whatever it is that we're contributing as regards to the entrepreneurship sector, who are we looking up to and who are we learning from as our leaders? Yeah.
Amazing. Mentorship is key. Is definitely key. Thank you so much, Shepard. Thank you for coming up. Looking forward to having you more and looking forward to the next time we have you on the chat room.
Well, thank you very much as well, and I'm very proud to be here.
Yeah, and so just leave your Facebook page in the comment section. Hi, Michael Mambwe. How are you
Hi,
doing?
I'm good. How are you? How are you guys?
Great.
I
I'm
hope
well.
you can hear me.
Loud and
Yeah,
clear.
we can get you loud and clear.
So, sure, sure. Oh,
Amazing.
if I
You
may
see,
speak just one before we start the chat, I would first of all like to congratulate the president-elect, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, and I would also like to congratulate the vice president. But let me not steal your show. Let me give you the floor, and thank you for giving me this wonderful opportunity. Uh, yes, boy.
yeah, amazing. I'll throw this to Barry. Uh,
I'm
Barry, I think you can go ahead. I think you're going to throw it.
yeah.
Okay, guess he threw it to me literally. All right. So Michael, we are glad to have you here. I think one is having trouble with the network, but it's good to have you on board. So you shared with us your story, and we had quite a lot of people reach out to us, but your story stood out. And you talked about how you received your graduate, you hold a degree in production operations management, and currently you don't have any formal work, and you're working as you say you sell bread at Macadoli, and you're also working as a part-time cowboy. So that's two that was interesting to us. Do you mind sharing more on that?
Yeah. One thing that I've realized, Barry, is that I know Barry and everybody here. We used to go to we were at the same university. I was in the same class with Mr. Barry here. The thing is, what I've realized is when you graduate, you have that paper quite okay. But the thing is, when you come here, if you are not employed currently, you have to actually fend for yourself. And the definition of a king is someone who provides for himself, and that's me. One thing that I've realized is if I if I'm supposed to provide for my family, I will provide for my family. And if it takes me to go and sell bread at the entrance of Nakadoli market, I'll surely do that. If it requires me to be a cowboy, I will surely do that. I'm not saying this literally or what can I say? I'm not saying this just to fragment things or make things look like, oh no, this guy is going to it. No. Uh, Mr. Barry here has actually seen me in a bus as a cowboy at KMB. So this is just me stating the fact. The thing is, the degree is there. It's my degree, and I know that I own that paper. Yeah, but at the moment, as I'm looking for work, I believe I'm not supposed to just sit around and wait for, or I don't know,
All
no
right,
someone to come and.
all right, Michael. Sorry for cutting you. What you're saying is, for me, it's radical. I feel most people who of your caliber are degree holders, for them to go to sell bread or become a cowboy in order to fend for themselves. That doesn't happen. That's not an everyday story. And right now, I'm thinking of the kind of humility that needs, the kind of mindset you need to be in. I feel most people just stay home, look for a job, and then do nothing. But I'm actually inspired because honestly, when you shared with us, I was like, maybe you'd come here and it would be more of a sad kind of story, the way we see it play out usually. But you're someone who's proud, you're someone who's actually fending for himself, and that's okay. And I feel that's radical, and that's really, really inspirational for so many young people who are watching this right now who don't have jobs, because I feel they can do more to that. So, what's your take on other university graduates who don't have work? And what's your take with the notion that's there that when you have a degree, there's some things that are beneath you?
Okay, thank you for your question. The thing is, what I've realized is that in as much as we'll talk about degree and we'll talk about one thing, there's one thing that I've realized most graduates will talk about is that there are no jobs in Zambia, right? If someone says there are no jobs in Zambia, what do you do? I had one lecture. I hope Barry will Mr. Mudenda. He said A degree holder is a job creator. So what I've done is I've actually created my own work personally. As I'm looking for work, I've created my own work. And I believe each and every individual who's a degree holder can do that. It requires humility, quite okay. But coming back to what the notion is saying, what can young people do to become relevant? For me, I found one thing to be very important. That's my family. And for my family, I need to be relevant all the time. I need to provide because I live with my grandma and my mom. So I am the man of the house. So if the man of the house cannot provide, then that's a problem. So what I had to do is look for something that I can do. So I opted to sell bricks and I opted to go in the stations because I knew there was money, right? Why do we go to universities and everything? Acquire knowledge so that we are relevant and make money for our families and our community. That's one thing that we do that for. So if I'm trying to actually spend for my family, either way, any way that I find, I will use it. Whether the paper I have is saying I cannot do that, when I have that money, if I have 100 kwacha, they won't be at no, this guy got this 100 kwacha because he was selling bread at McDonald's. No, I will give you 100 kwacha, Mr. Barry. Then you'll be like, oh, thank you. And you use it wherever you're going to use it, right? So let's not say we cannot do this, we cannot do that. Let's empower ourselves. One thing that I believe is for us to be relevant, just coming back to the question or to the notion, for us to be relevant as young people, we must realize we must be relevant to our family. That's one thing. And we must be relevant to ourselves. How do we become relevant? One, you need to have a skill. You need to have education. That's one thing. For me, I have that education. I can see all you guys have the education. Each and every guest here has the education. But that's the very first step that one needs to take. The second is not for you to relax because you have that education. It's for you to go and chase everything. Because there's just before the election, someone said told me that even if Haka indicate.
Sorry for cutting you. You are, as I remember, I believe you have some. What you shared is so insightful, and seeing that the tone of this is growing, I feel you have so much more to share. And I'm thinking we definitely need to have you back here for an exclusive or something, because I feel there's something deeper to your story. I feel there's something to be explored. I feel you have a message on your heart that needs to be heard. But in the interest of time, I'm afraid we have to end here because I think we still have a couple of guests who are coming in. But we're glad you're here. We're grateful you got to share your story, and we're looking forward to having you next time.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. It's a great honor.
All right. Mr. Benson, welcome. Can you hear me? Mr. Benson, can you hear me? Okay, so I think Benson over there is having trouble with his connection. But right about now, we are about to welcome someone very special, and in studio with us right now is Lawrence Kasonde, and Lawrence Kasonde is the COBUSU president and the Zambia National Students Union vice president, if I'm mistaken, and he's come tonight on board to share with us what he believes young people in Zambia can do to become relevant to society today. And we are eager to hear his thoughts, and do comment, do interact with him even as he comes to share on. And I guess we'll be seeing him right here, right after this ad. Mr. Lawrence, welcome to the chat room.
Just unmute your
Sorry,
mic.
we couldn't get you. Your mic was muted for a bit. Welcome to the chat room. Okay, I believe we're still having trouble. We can't hear you, unfortunately. All right, let's try it again. Can you try speaking now? Your mic is muted. Could you just unmute your mic? Okay, we seem to be having some technical issues with Mr. Lawrence, but as he tries to reconnect, we'll add him back in a bit. We'll add him back in a bit. So, Lua, what's been your take so far on what the guests have had to share?
I think courage. A lot has been talking about as regards to the skill and what we can do, skill, purpose, ideas, and what we can do to participate in being solution makers. But above all, I think it's the courage to go out and do that, because I feel I don't think there's any individual that's created without something in them to provide a solution for their community. It may not be a large scale community, but it can be your family. That also is community. So I think it's the courage to actually execute what's on the inside of you, the idea, the skill, whatever it is that is on the inside of you. It's the courage to actually do that I'm catching from what's been talked about today.
Okay. Mr. Bennett, welcome to the chat room. Can you hear us tonight? Benson, sorry.
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. It's good to have you on board. Quickly, what do you believe Zambian youths can do today? Yeah, quickly, what do you believe Zambian youths can do today to become relevant to society? Can you hear us? Okay. I believe Benson is having trouble with his mic. Still, since all of our guests are having trouble with their mics today. All right, Mr. Tendi Desmond, how are you?
I'm fine.
It's good to have you in the chat room tonight. Are you excited?
Thank you very much. Good.
All right. So we have a question for you tonight. What do you believe Zambian youth can do today to become relevant to society?
Okay, basically, I love to share some it's practical, something that I've used and something that has worked for me. I, for one, have the level of unemployment. Discover that about 22.7% of young people are unemployed. So, one is sort of how best relevant to the community and the blessing to my fellow young people. I discovered that the only way out it is entrepreneur, because that's what the entrepreneur. So I thought, and I think that it's wise for people to engage into it.
Yeah. Slight network error there from Mr. Desmond, I believe. Mr. Lawrence, are we able to speak now?
Hello?
Okay, we can hear you.
All right, perfect.
Loud and clear. All right, so Desmond having some trouble. We'll be able to get back to him shortly. All right, so we're saying welcome to the chat room. Are you excited about being here tonight?
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Barry. I think I'm very much excited with being here tonight. I think this is a very great initiative that you have come up with, called the chat room. Something that a lot of young people out there are not thinking actually to do such things, especially when it comes to social media. A lot of them are being carried away by perception being created by social media and whatnot. But I think this is a commendable job that I would love to. It's a commendable job that I would love to just say, keep it up and keep on pushing.
Wonderful, thank you. I'm grateful to hear that. So quickly, and I imagine you as being a young leader, you have enough to share on this. What do you believe Zambian youths can do today to become relevant in society?
I think what I believe Zambian young people can do, especially most of us that are in society, is I think we have to get part and parcel of the leadership system that we have and the governance system. Usually, a lot of us young people are overwhelmed. Allow me to talk so much about social media because that's where a lot of us are based. A lot of us young people. We wake up every morning. The first thing we do is get our phones, go on social media, see what's trending, see the jokes that are there, see the comedies that are there, see the current affairs that are there, see the lies that are on social media. But actually, we're not really getting physically involved with the national governance. You see, national governance starts even from as low as the local level. So it's not all about being in government, but for example, right now we have the UPND as the party in power. You as a young people, you need to take keen interest in trying to know who are the local leaders for the United Party for National Development. Who's the chairperson, who's the district chairperson, who's the district chair, secretary general. You need to know these people because these are the people that actually formed that party before it even became part of the governance system. So as young people, we need to get involved at inception stage. That's the reason why today we're seeing a lot of older people in these government positions are not young people because all that we're waiting for is you graduating with a degree, looking for employment, working for somebody. Apart from that, as young people, I think we're fresh, we're young, we're innovative, we still have the energy. And if we are at all privileged to have some resources, I think the best thing that we can also do is become our self bosses, our own bosses. We can become entrepreneurs as well. We can employ people at local level. If I employ one person today, that person is able to feed the family. People will be able to know about me. Who am I? This is Lawrence Kasonde, for example. And one thing that I can tell you is these people will be able to remember even as you want to eye for a certain position in when it comes to politics. So as young people, I think we need to take so much interest in local level government systems. This is something that I tell my friends every time, that you can't change the system from outside. You need to be part of the system for you to understand it, and then that's the only way you're going to change. Right now, we have a new government that has promised young people free education, promised students meal allowances. But me seated home, how am I going to make sure these things are actually actualized? Am I going to be just posting stuff on Facebook? No. Let me get part of the system. Let me get close to these people in these offices. Let me understand what's actually really going on. Is it possible for these guys to give us a free education from grade 1 to university? If it is not possible, I can come up with an idea which I can take to them. So I think it's best that us young people will get involved at inception stage. We cannot directly get involved with the president, the ministers, but we can start even with the councillors, the members of parliament, and
So
the council
what I'm
chairperson
getting
and
is
mayors.
participation of young people in local governance, and just speaking about young people getting involved at an inception stage. Lua, as Lawrence was speaking, I saw you nodding. I feel you have something to say.
Yeah, totally agree.
Come
Totally agree
again?
with participation, the awareness of what takes place on a national level, and just being aware of your leaders and the various sectors that are in the government. And also, I don't know if I can pop in a question, but my question for you is, what do you think are the challenges with that? What do you think youths are not stepping up to be aware of what's happened on a national level, and also participating in actually being the person that actually contributes to that is a need in the society or in the country at large?
Okay, as a young person, I'll talk from my personal experience. I'm sure maybe there are a lot of young people out there that may be going through the same situation that I'm in or have been in. So the first one is intimidation that we get from these elderly people. They don't encourage us to actually participate in these local government programs and whatnot. We don't have that opportunity. So sometimes it's intimidation. Sometimes it's how our mindsets are programmed. When you're young, there are certain things that are only for those people. There's a perception that politics is a dirty game, for example. Yes, as we grow up, we keep on believing politics is a dirty game. It's all about corruption. It's all about bribes, you know. But then, if you and I today cannot get in the system and clean that system that we feel is corrupt, that we feel is accepting a lot of bribes at the expense of the Zambian people, we're not going to make any change. That's why you're going to find a lot of educated young people outside. They keep on complaining about unemployment. They keep on complaining about the economy. They keep on complaining about infrastructure. Why? Because they're outside of the race. We're letting people that are not even educated, because they have confidence to get into leadership positions, we're allowing them to actually rule us. So
Okay,
what I
one last
can
question.
say in conclusion is one of the challenges, I think, is intimidation. One of the challenges, I think, is lack of confidence. And the other most important challenge is we do not
So
research.
would you, you're talking about participation of young people. Would you say the current systems of governance now, are they open enough to allow young people to to participate? If young people did indeed want to participate, if young people did indeed show up, if they indeed became more confident, are current systems of governance able to accommodate young people to be part of the process?
Right now, I'll answer your question in two phases. With perception, it's allowing young people to participate in governance, but the reality is it's not. We have people that have, for example, served in a party for a long time, and they'll come up and say, "You can't allow this young person to start for this position because I've been in this party for a long time." So the only way us young people are going to be confident and believe that we are being considered as young people in these governance systems is by certain policies being introduced. Let me talk about, for example, certain clauses in the Bill 10 that we recently had, the debate about the Bill 10, or we had
Lawrence, sorry for cutting you. I just realized we have someone who's joined in. When they heard you were going to be part of tonight, they said they wanted to join in and ask a question. So maybe as you continue our system, just add them to stream. Then afterwards, because we're trying to conclude, can you be quick in your question or what you're sharing? But go ahead.
Okay.
What you were saying, Lawrence, and then Mr. Feligo here will proceed with what he has to say.
Okay, I can go on?
Yes.
All right, so like I was earlier mentioning, saying only certain policies that are going to be put by the government to allow young people to participate in local level governance and also higher level governance. I think that's the only way us young people are going to feel secure that we are allowed at inception stage to be part of the governing programs. But if we are going to be left alone, stranded like this, believe me, as young people, we don't have the capacity to actually even contest for certain positions because we don't have the financial muscle. So if there's certain policies that are going to be given directly, like a simple example is, for example, local government councillors, area councillors that we have, if those can have an age limit, I think that would be the best because somebody will be able to learn from that level until they get into being a member of parliament or mayor or chairperson, until then maybe one day governing the country. If that can be given to a certain age group, that would be better. What benefit does it have for a 64-year-old man to actually contest as a councillor when they don't even think about the country, they don't even have a vision for the country or the future? But then if certain policies can be put in place to protect the young people, I think that is one of the best things that any government can do to actually make sure that the future is also comprised of the youths.
Wow, that's so insightful. That's so insightful. Mr. Feligo, because we're out of time, I ask you to be quick, but thanks for coming on the chat room tonight. Hello, can you hear us?
All right, thank you.
Yes, you can go ahead, contribute to it. Yes, we can hear you. You can go ahead and contribute to the topic. I don't know if you have a question in specific, but the floor is yours, sir.
Okay, I think let me just say thank you first of all for inviting me over to participate in this chat. I've been following through what Mr. Kasonde and the rest of the participants have been bringing on board. I think I've just got a few questions since we're talking about empowering the citizens, especially the youths. Like Mr. Kasonde has brought in the issue of especially the youths participating on the national level, in leadership, what to say. The question
Hey, so I think we lost Feligo there. I'm sure he's having some technical challenges. Hopefully, we'll be able to get back. Mr. Feligo, we had lost you for a bit there.
is, I think the network here is bad. I hope you'll be able to get it.
Yeah, you can proceed.
So, Mr. Kasonde, I've got a few questions for you. You are talking about the citizens participating in the national politics. I think a few questions that I have, it still brings you back to the student leadership, more especially at the Copperbelt University.
Okay, and we seem to have lost him again. Right, so in the interest of time, I think we should be winding this off. But thank you so much, Lawrence, for coming through. You've shared about youth participation, and I believe that is very, very valuable. I don't know if Lua, okay, I don't know if Lua has anything to say before we can excuse you.
Okay, I'm still here. Can I proceed?
Oh, go ahead, Mr. Feligo.
All right, you can proceed with your question.
All right, so Mr. Kasonde, I've got two questions for you, or let me just say three questions that I have for you. For us to be able to
Can you ask him maybe to type in his question?
Yeah.
Maybe if you can type his question, then we can be able to respond to it.
Yeah. So, Mr. Feligo, I don't know if you can hear us, but if you can type your question, and then we'll be able to perhaps respond to it. But as he sets up, let's have Tienda Desmond back.
International politics,
Mr. Feligo, unfortunately, your network is bad, so we can't really hear you. Can you type out your questions? Is it possible for you to type out your
I type the question?
Yeah, I can type the questions in a private chat, and then we'll share them here, because the network is quite bad. All right, Mr. Desmond, sorry, you were talking earlier and you were cut because of network challenges. You can proceed.
Okay, let me try to the last.
Hello?
Okay.
Oh, I can continue?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. I think I had some network challenges. So what I was saying is I would love to share something that's practical that I feel that has worked for me. Basically, I'm engaged into entrepreneurship, and I've come to understand that despite of us having an employment level of about 22.7%, young people can tend to become relevant in this great nation of Zambia by engaging into entrepreneurship, because the last and only hope for Zambia, I feel, it's entrepreneurship. Therefore, they have to get engaged into entrepreneurship activities and become a solution by providing employment to other fellow young people. So if we can engage in entrepreneurship and create a base of employment for other fellow people, then it can be great for Zambia. And
Wonderful.
we can be relevant by solving other young people's need or problems.
By entrepreneurship. Wonderful. So we'll have you shortly right back. Let's just try to see if Mr. Feligo here. I don't see a typed question. Mr. Feligo, are you managing? Okay, so I think that's that. But thank you, Desmond, for coming through. Wonderful insights on entrepreneurship. I personally totally agree with you. Entrepreneurship is one of the fastest way to empower young people and get involved in economic activity and economic development. So even as we come to the conclusion of this show, we just want to say thank you to each and every one of you who's tuned in tonight. Thank you for everyone who's watching through our ambassadors pages. Unfortunately, if you are commenting on our ambassadors pages, we weren't able to tap into your comments because you have to be part of our chat room group on Facebook for that. So we have these chats every Sunday, and we're looking forward to next week interacting more with you on this platform. Mr. Feligo, I see you're back here. Let's give you one last shot. If the network juices you still, I'm afraid we have to close this session.
All right. Mr. Kasonde, according to the constitution, the Guild Constitution at the Copperbelt University, a student president supposed to hold office one academic. You have been in the office 3 academic years. So we want to ask, what constitution are you using? Are you using the Guild Constitution, or maybe there is another constitution that you're using? Then the other question here is, the Student Guild Constitution also guides us to say the financial report is supposed to be released every academic year. We haven't had the financial report for 3 academic years. So we want to ask, what's your stance as the president for COBUSU?
Okay, those are the only 2 questions you had?
Yes, then let me just ask the last question. You know, you have been going on the media. Last time we saw you attending a rally for one of the political parties.
Okay.
In the name
sorry,
of
Feligo,
student
I'm afraid I have to cut you short.
Was that
in the interest of time?
Mr. Barrett, let me just quickly respond to those 3 major questions. I'll start with the first one that says you've been in office does the constitution allow? So I love the energy that you have, Mr. Feligo. When I was aspiring for office, I remember when I was in second year, I had the same energy. But before my response to your question is, I want you to look for a word called force majeure. It's a term, it's a law actually, that means unforeseeable circumstances that prevent someone from fulfilling a contract. So there were certain unforeseen circumstances that you and I would agree that foresaw a lot of us actually not fulfilling our contract. I'm not so powerful that I would hold office for 3 years without actually the powers that be to call for election. So there was this situation that we're in because of the COVID, because of the expulsions and whatnot, that saw us fall into this law called the force majeure. Secondly, about the financial report, I remember my first year as president, I only served for a week and I got a week or 2 and I got expelled. I never used any finances. We had what we used to call an interim committee. So you, as a responsible student, should first find out who was in the interim executive and the finances that were used. In the second year, we were hit with the COVID, and this year, before we step out of office, we're going to provide our financial report for whatever finances that we've used. And I think we've not used any finances. We've not used any much of the finances. There should be enough left in the account. I didn't really keep track, especially after we had the financial issues of the former finance minister. I think there was the restrictions to finances, especially from the office of the president. And then lastly, you talked about seeing me appear on certain platforms endorsing maybe a certain political party or a certain presidential candidate. I think before I was a union president, I was a Zambian citizen, and I'm entitled to actually also exercise my right as a citizen to actually belong to any political party. So sometimes I would go there in my individual capacity, but we have a lot of excited media houses that would actually quote you and say COBUSU or ZNSU. But then usually what happens is you go there in your own personal capacity and then you may be misquoted. There are a lot of young upcoming media houses that will give you a lot of information. And this brings me to what I earlier mentioned about social media perception. Whatever is created on social media actually is not what is the reality. What is the reality may be different. So my advice to you too as well is, if you can make a post today amongst the students and you have 1,000 likes, don't be assured those are guaranteed people that can vote for you in the election. Get on the ground, interact with them. I like your energy, but one thing you should do is, in as much as you're on social media as part of image building, get on the ground, get to create a personal relationship with the students, let them know you personally, so that even as they vote, you know the person they're voting for and not the person that they saw on social media. Thank you.
Right. That answers it. I believe, Mr. Feligu's questions. It does, right? I'm hoping so. It has to, because we have to end the broadcast. Thank you for coming on this evening. We're glad to have you, gentlemen. And I sense this has to do with COBUSU leadership. And not to get too deep into that, but it's good to see young people able to voice out their grievances in such a conducive and appropriate manner. For me, it's hopeful because we're developing. Yeah, no one is punching anybody. So
True.
So that's good. So thank you for coming through. I'm afraid we have to end our broadcast here. And to our viewers, we'll be seeing you next Sunday at 1940 on the chat room. To be part of the conversations, do join our Facebook group at the chat room. And on behalf of me, Lua and Wana, we're glad you were here. And on behalf of our ambassadors, thank you so much for sponsoring and sharing this program. See you next time.